Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Shanks, and this is another Salesforce Shapes demo for you. Basically, this is actually a project, personal project that I was doing that I had a fun doing. I'm basically a part of this workout group, and I was curious how the instructor kind of kept their workouts consistent, and also the library of the workouts. So how would they know if I have a great workout structure where I want to do, exercise 1, 2, 3, how do I know I haven't done it in that pattern already and already given it a name of something, unique? So I don't want to duplicate the workouts I'm prescribing to individuals. So this is where I kind of came up with an idea on how to use Salesforce flows to be able to search for specific exercises, see what workouts you've used that exercise in, and then the last time that you also used it. So that way you're able to see, I'm not repeating this specific workout too often, or I've already used these exercises. I need to think of a different workout in order to prescribe to everyone. So what we're going to go over today and what we're going to kind of cover are, going over the custom objects that we created, a validation rule that I used for exercise, so that way I didn't create the same exercise name multiple times. Another way to just kind of help prevent duplication, the workout object, and then SRT was the joint object that I used. It just stands for Sandite and Ruck Training. The reason I had to do a joint object is because we have multiple exercises that also match to multiple workouts. So if I want to, let's say, ruck for 800 meters, that could be part of workout 1 and then also be part of workout 2. So I need to have a joint object since I will have a many-to-many connection between exercise and workout objects. I'll kind of show you how it looks in the Schema Builder and also how I built the flow. So using a screen flow, lookups in the screen flow, how to do loops, set up the collections variable, and how I use the unofficial Salesforce Datatable in order to display the workouts, the descriptions of everything, and then how I just put that in a button on my page layout. So we'll get started here. We have the exercise object, which is the first one I created. I have basic stuff like exercise name, the weight that's being used, reps, distance, and the distance metrics, so either meters or miles. The one thing I did in order to kind of prevent duplicating exercise names, because as you can see, I have plenty of them, but I want to make sure that I don't repeat the same thing, because then I might be, duplicating workouts where I don't want to. So I have this validation rule called the name already exists. And I used a shout out to Deepak, who was the one I found this answer on Trailhead. So super helpful. And this is pretty much what I ended up using was his formula. So it is saying that if the name of the exercise equals, and it's looking up the object type, exercise, and the field name, if that equals the exercise field name, then, if it's equaling itself, don't allow it. Honestly, it's confused me a bit, but also it works. So I'm not really complaining. I just wanted to give credit to Deepak for helping this out. All right, so that helps kind of prevent the duplication of exercise names, which you could use, for a number of different scenarios. And then the way to make the joint object kind of connection, right? So I have Schema Builder, which we would just go to Object Manager, Schema Builder, and then we have our workout object, our exercise object, and then SRT, which is going to be the master detail to both of these. So if you are on Schema, you're able to go to the object, and then we created a master detail relationship from exercise to SRT, which is what this is, and the same thing for workout to SRT. We have the master detail relationship. So in order to create a single SRT record, I have to have both a workout and an exercise. So an example would be on my SRT little report that I made. For every exercise, I have to have a workout. And then for the SRT object, I just did auto numbering, because honestly, I don't really need to know the name of the SRT. It's just a placeholder that allows me to do a many-to-many connection between workouts and different exercise names. So once we got that in place, we go over to our flows. And this is the flow that I've built. As you see, it kind of goes on and on and on, but we'll kind of go through it bit by bit. So we start out with the screen flow, and I am using the lookup. So just kind of out of the box lookup from Salesforce. And then what tripped me up a lot was I was using the exercise object because I wanted to look up my exercise name. So in my exercise object, I was using this API name and the exercise name API. That did not work. And what I finally figured out through much searching and just testing is you have to kind of go through it the roundabout way, which is kind of annoying. So even though I want exercise name, I can't look on the exercise object to get it. So I went through the SRT object in order to get it. And if you have, especially because I need to have an exercise record on SRT, so I know it's always going to be there as well. So I have exercise is the field API. So we have this API name, which is just what I'm calling this lookup field. I have the object API name, which is SRT. And then I have the field from the object that I want, which is exercise. And then I just have the label of exercise one search, which I added up to 5 of these. So that way you can look up to, if the workout I want to create has up to 5 exercises, I can basically include them all. And then the first one's required, the rest of them are not, just because I need at least one record to kind of look for. All right, once we have the first screen, it basically just goes into getting the SRT record. So I have my SRT object. Exercise is the field I want from that, and it equals the exercise one record ID. So if I'm looking, it's basically from my lookup, my screen component, exercise one, the lookup, and it either gives you the name or the record ID. So I want the record ID because that will match a little bit better. And then I want all records. So I want all the SRTs that have this single exercise. And then that way I can look through it and get all of the workouts from the SRT object in order to display that later. So once I have all of the SRTs that have the single exercise, I will loop through them. And one thing I wanted to do was avoid having the same workout show up multiple times on the display at the end. And the reason being is obviously if I have one exercise, if I have run or rough 200 meters, I could repeat that 3 or 4 times in a workout. And I don't want, this same workout to show up 3 or 4 times. So if I have, searching for 2 exercises, one is, ruck 400 meters, the other is, do push-ups. If those 2 exercises are in the same workout would show up twice if I didn't filter it out somehow. So the solution I came up with was I created a variable that is called just workout IDs. And I am checking this variable to see if it contains the looping workout ID. So for the current loop, I have 5 of these. So for loop number 1, which is what I'm in, I go to the workout object, and then I look for the record ID. If the record ID is in this variable, which it won't be for the first time through, then it will skip it. And so how that ends up playing out is basically if it's a unique ID, which means it's not stored in that variable, then I will add the ID to the variable and then add a type, I think that's what it's called. So that downward slant as a kind of divider to divide the IDs as they kind of add up. And so how this looks in practice is basically, so my workout ID variable, I'm on exercise number 4 at this point of the debug, and it shows that it has this workout ID and this workout ID. And so if my ID that I'm searching for is already contained in here, then it's going to skip because I already have that workout. And again, I don't want to display it a second time. But if not, then it will add it, and then it adds that new workout ID to the variable. So the next time it goes through the loop, if the ID is there, it's going to skip it. If it is not there, then it will add it to this collection that I have going. And so I created a variable. It's a record variable that I called the SO for standard object, even though it's custom, workout display. It's a data type record for the workout object. And then you'll also see the SOC, which is a collection of this. Again, it's record data type, but it allows for multiple values on the workout object. So when I go through each loop, if it's a unique workout ID, I add the record ID to this individual variable. I add the workout description, I add the workout name, and I add the last performed date. These are the 3 fields that I'm going to end up displaying at the end of this. I'm primarily interested in the description to make sure, the workout I'm thinking of or the workout I want to create isn't too similar, doesn't exist comparatively. So once I have all this added to the individual variable, I add it to the collection. So just the SOC workout display, add the individual record. Basically, each time it goes through, it overrides with new values. It adds them to the collection, and it keeps going, however many times it needs to. Once that is done, it basically now goes and searches for exercise 2. So if there is any value in exercise 2, because again, it's not required. So if it's null, it's false, which means it exists, then I just kind of repeat the cycle. So I am going through and adding the exercise 2. I'm getting any SRT objects that have the exercise 2 ID, adding all the records, looping through the records. And what's nice is my variable still exists. So any workouts from the first search would also be on the second search. So that way, again, it's part of the same workout. I don't get the same workout showing up twice. And that repeats again for 3, and exercise 4, and exercise 5. So for each search, I'm running through kind of the same steps. I'm building up my collection with additional workouts that are being added if the ID is unique. And then at the very end, I am using the unofficial Salesforce Datatable. So this is super nice. It's something that I've used before. I might use it a bit oddly, but it's just the way I learned how to do it. So that's what I'm going to show you. right? So we have the object as a workout, and then it says which records do you want to display. Typically has to be a collection. So I'm picking the workout display collection that I had set up and I've been adding to with each loop. Table formatting, I honestly just ignore this entire thing. I haven't used that part before. What I do use is the advanced section. So I will click this on to show/edit column attributes. And I want to display the workout object fields, workout name, and then you put a comma to separate the field, description, and then also last performed date. I'm manually typing these in and separating with a comma. They're not variables. I'm just manually typing in the 3 columns that I want to be shown. And then that is pretty much it for that. Those are all the settings I kind of change. And again, I will include a link for this, but it is UnofficialSF.com. And then if you go to flow, and then you go to screen components, the data table is in here. So this is how it ends up looking, but I will kind of show you how I also added this to the page layout. So we have on the exercise layout, I added this action button. So if we go to exercise and we go to buttons, links, and actions, I wanted to be able to access this flow with just an easy click. So I created this workout search. I'll kind of recreate it to show you how that was done. Sorry, I did that kind of fast. I went up and clicked on new action. And then action type is a flow. The flow is workout search. I just kind of leave this as none, so that way I can make my own label. And now I'll just put V2 so it doesn't tell me this button already exists. And then I would save it. And that's all you need to do in order to get the flow put into a button that then you can add on the page layout, which is what I did. So I added it in the Salesforce mobile and lightning experience actions, put it nice front and center. So that way, when I'm creating exercises, I can be like, all right, here's some exercises I've just added. I want to see what current workouts exist, if they exist. So that way I'm not duplicating my work, but I can also see, the last time I did this workout. So if it's something I've done like 6 months ago, a year ago, I can recreate it, like redo it because it's a great workout. Obviously, if I thought of it a second time in a row. So we will search for some exercises. So let's say I want to ruck 800 meters, and then I want to do, 5 deadlifts, and then I want to do, let's say 30 step ups. And then I want to do a farmer's carry, if I could spell it right, for 100 meters. And then let's do some sandbag hang cleans to finish up. And the naming structure, which I will also make a flow to kind of automate this naming creation, is just the exercise, the weight, and the rep scheme. So these are the 5 exercises I want to do. So I want to find any and all workouts that include one of these exercises. So it's not going to be that includes all of them. It'll be that includes the individual workout. So that way I can make sure it's not too close or too close to something I've already done. So it works really quick, which is nice. It pulls back, several workouts. So I can say, all right, Big John Brown has the 100-meter carry, which I was kind of thinking of doing. It also has the step ups, which I had added as well. So all right, it doesn't have, the hang cleans, the deadlifts, the combo I was thinking of. So I now am confident enough creating my workout to say it's not near anything that I've done before. And also the database I have is kind of small at this time. Obviously, as I continue to make workouts, I can add it and then make sure, the last time I did it. And so that way I'm not repeating workouts that are being given out all too often. So yeah, I believe that is it. If you have any questions, comments, if there's a better way to kind of loop through the flow, I also try to think about doing this as a decision, and then trying to do just a single Git record. But unfortunately, you can't do Gits through a collection. It's only one at a time. So this is kind of what I ended up doing, but it works, exactly like I was hoping for. And I'm excited to kind of keep building out the library and yeah, coming up with fun workouts. If it's not one I want to do by creating one, I can see, okay, these are the exercises I want to do. Let's find workouts that those exist in. So it works twofold for myself. And I'm super excited to, yeah, give this a test and continue to use it in the future. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, comments. Happy to answer them. Happy to go over anything in more detail. All right. Have a great day.